The following podcast is by Mr. Jim Koewler, elder law and special needs attorney, helping and protecting those who need long-term care. And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network with Jim Koewler, elder law attorney in Richfield, Ohio, who is talking about a lot of federal issues. And Jim, you've been giving us a lot of information about what our rights are as we're stepping up and, bringing in a loved one into a skilled nursing facility or assisted living. And thank you for sharing a lot of this information. I'm like, wow, I had no idea. So we're talking now, this next segment, about what, Jim?
We're going to be talking about where the nursing home or assisted living asks a family member to, or forces or tricks a family member into taking responsibility for payment if they don't get fully paid by the resident. Mm-hmm. And this often happens when Medicaid doesn't follow through, or there's an improper transfer in the history of the resident or something like that.
I remember distinctly an issue with payment with my mom when she was being qualified for Medicaid. There was an issue with payment, and so I'm very interested in hearing a little bit about that.
Okay,
so about why was I served papers about her payment?
Yep. Okay, so most nursing home and assisted living agreements now have a place where they want somebody else from the family to sign the agreement as what's most often called the resident representative. It may be, and for those of you listening, I've got air quotes around resident representative, okay? Mm-hmm. They may use a different term, but this is the one I see most often here in Ohio.
Do you have to be that resident representative have to be power of attorney?
No, but that's where they usually get a family member to sign by saying, "Oh, you're on the power of attorney. You're the agent." This is what we call them in Ohio, anyway.
Yeah.
You need to sign this, okay? And nursing homes are demanding that, at least around here. There are ways around it, but some nursing homes don't let you get away with the way around it. Okay, and some of these are just plain ugly. Okay, so. Mm-hmm. Now this is under federal rules. Okay, the resident representative under these clauses this is the clause in the agreement now. Okay, but this is subject to federal rule. Mm-hmm. The resident representative will promise to pay from the resident's money. Okay, that doesn't sound like a big deal. Right. But it goes on to say that the resident representative has, making air quotes, sole control over the resident's money. Well, that's almost never true. If you are the agent under power of attorney law in Ohio, and I suspect it's pretty much the same in all the other states,
right?
You may be on there and have ability to spend the resident's money. You're the principal of the on the power of attorney. You're the agent, at least in Ohio's terminology. The principal is the person who signed it. I'm mom's agent. My mom signed the power of attorney, extending her powers to me. Mom is still on her bank account. Power of attorney does not give anyone sole control over anything in Ohio, and I suspect that's true in all the other states, okay? The only time that anyone has sole control of someone else's money is when they are a guardian and have control of the money. It may be conservator in other states like California, right, for example. In Ohio, you have to be guardian of the estate in Ohio, because also guarding the person, you don't have control of money at all under that, okay? And guardianship is a state animal, by the way, so it may be different in different states. Right. But in Ohio anyway, you don't have sole control of anything unless the probate court makes you guardian of the estate, okay? So by signing you have sole control, you've already lied. And you have represented to the nursing home something that's not true, and they know it's not true. If they don't know it's not true, they're really stupid. But the person asking you to sign it doesn't know any difference. The admission person who's handing you this to sign doesn't know the difference, doesn't know guardianship law. It's not going to be handed to you by the nursing home's attorney who knows better, but they write these clauses anyway, okay? And then it goes on to say that the resident representative, the family member, volunteers, making air quotes, they're volunteering to guarantee payment to the nursing home. That means out of their own money. Okay. Under federal rules, nursing homes cannot demand that a family member guarantee payment, but they can accept if family members volunteer to guarantee payment. So now all they've done is put that volunteer thing into an agreement. And if you don't realize it's there and sign this stupid thing, you've now volunteered. And I've dealt with nursing homes like that. One I mentioned that had 5 or 6 illegal clauses in it where they weren't going to budge. This person was going to volunteer. Well, that's certainly not voluntary, is it? But it's on paper as voluntary. Okay. And I've seen this only one time, but this one's really wild. The resident representative agrees to take in the resident if the nursing home or assisted living discharges. This happened to be a nursing home. If the nursing home discharges the resident representative agrees to take them in. This is a shortcut way of meeting the state and federal rules on a safe place for someone to go if the nursing home doesn't want to keep him anymore. You volunteered, if you sign this, to be the place where they discharge, even if you cannot take care of your loved one. You volunteered by signing this. Okay. So how to get around this? One, look for it, cross it out. That may draw attention you may not want. I do it by digging my heels, but then I'm also the loudmouth attorney that can argue with the nursing home's attorney. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. This is a negotiation. Okay. You can sign it and put as POA. You can have the resident sign every line, and even as resident representative, and then the admission person may not know the difference, and just, oh, I needed someone else to sign here. They may not know the difference if you sign using comma POA or as power of attorney or whatever is appropriate in your state. Because if you sign as power of attorney, now you're not signing as your individual person, you're signing as the
on
agent
their behalf
of the resident. Okay.
Correct.
So you don't want to agree to this crap if you can avoid it. Okay. Because if there's a Medicaid screw up, and there's plenty of Medicaid screw ups, and some of them are, frankly, I think, at least in Ohio, intentional screw ups by Medicaid, then the resident representative, the family member, becomes the guarantor of the private pay rate.
This is exactly my story, Jim. I want you to know that this is my story with my mother. It really happened to me.
Yeah.
I got served papers saying that unless I paid I think it was 3 months of her rent because the power of attorney that she had appointed was taking her own sweet time and getting my mother qualified for Medicaid. And there was a mix up in her paperwork, and Medicaid had rejected. And so they got a notice, and I was not her power of attorney, but when I admitted her, I signed the paperwork with her.
Because you had to. They told you
Because I had to. And so they actually said that unless, I think they gave me 10 days to come up with 3 months worth of rent, or they were going to deliver her to my doorstep. And I was like, I'm not even power of attorney. I didn't even know. And there's no way I could have taken care of my mom.
Right.
And I had to, at that time, I will never forget how scary that was, how I felt like I was pushed back into a corner, and I didn't even have any control over what was going on with her application with Medicaid because it was a different person that was doing it in the family.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem.
That's a real situation.
It is. It is. I've seen it. I try to keep it from happening in my clients' families. My clients have the advantage, my clients and their families have the advantage of having a lawyer in that's been there, done that. I have spoken to a group from a probate court on admission agreements and how to take care of people in nursing homes, looking out after care, but admission agreements was a big part of that. I've spoken several times at Ohio State Bar Association seminars, and I'm probably going to end up doing it again next year because they have a beginning level seminar for elder law attorneys And I talk about care, including admission agreements.
Mhm.
And then NBI, as you see from these slides, asked me to do it nationally. So I probably have looked at more of these admission agreements than any other elder law attorney who doesn't work, well, elder law attorney. Now, there are any other attorney that doesn't work for a nursing home or assisted living.
Amazing, amazing.
And I've really tried to acquaint myself with these things so that my clients don't stumble over these potholes.
Sure, sure.
And we're talking real money here.
This is finally, I never could understand why I was the it. And not this power of attorney.
Yeah, because you volunteered by signing.
And I was the one that was
representative.
always there. And I was the one that was so very interesting. So Jim, what are we going to be moving into in our next segment?
So our next segment, we're actually getting away from the admission agreements. We're going to be talking about the experience you had and threats to discharge your loved one.
Oh boy. I know this story so well.
Yep. Yep.
And you know, and to those of you that are listening and or watching on YouTube, these are real stories. And I am testament. I always say I'm the poster child for everything that could have gone wrong in the care of my mom to, you know, it did go wrong. It's like, because I thought I was making right decisions, but I didn't know what I was doing. And had I had an elder law attorney like Jim that would help advise me through this part. So please, when you're involved in this legal stuff is so important. And because there's little things that will bite you in the ankle if you do not, you know, pay attention to little details. So Jim, thank you so much. And we're looking forward to our next segment coming up right after this.
State of Ohio residents, you have a friend to help you navigate long-term care while protecting your assets. You can reach Jim at www.protectingseniors.com or just email him at jkoewler-afe, that's jkoewler-afe at protectingseniors.com.